station. This is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
I'm ready for the event.
Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. This is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
This is Hirata in Tenku. How do you hear me?
平田さん、I can hear you loud and clear. よく聞こえます。よろしくお願いします。
I hear you loud and clear.
おいさんこんばんは。
Good evening, Mr. Onishi.
ナンバーブッタ役の
I am Hirata. I was the Mutta in Uchu Brothers. Let's say good evening together. Good evening, Mr. Onishi. And this is Ken. I was a Hibito, number Hibito. Hello, I'm Mori. I serve as MC. Today we are connecting three sites, Kunika Minaruta Tenku at the Tokyo site, which is the main site, and also JR Tower Sapporo, and also across Fukuoka. There are so many people gathering here, and everyone is looking forward to speaking to you, Mr. Onishi.
はい、平田さん、健さん、お久しぶりです。森さん、はじめまして。また会場にお越しの皆様、
Hirata-san, Ken-san, haven't seen you for a while, and also very nice to meet you, Mr. Mori, and also everyone who are gathering there, and also audience. Thank you very much. I'm Takuya Onishi, and I was launched from Baikono, Kazakhstan on the Tanabata, July 7th, and it is already 75 days since I arrived, and I perfectly fitted in this space environment.
はい、毎日忙しい生活を送っているんですけれども、本当にそういう時に皆さん
Well, that's great. I am very busy every day, but
今日はどうぞよろしくお願いします。
and everyone is cheering up, and that is really keep me going. Thank you very much for gathering here today. Well, we would like to take questions starting from Sapporo. I'm second grader of university. I'm Maria Shimoyama, and my question is, what were you thinking in the rocket on the way to the space?
はい、どうもありがとうございます。ロケットの発射台ではですね、
Thank you very much for that question. Well, when I was on the launch pad, I was very calm and waiting for the time of launch. And while I was on the way, the shake or the vibration of the rocket was not so big, but the rocket, as it goes up, jettisons some of the rockets, but the impact of the jettisoning was very strong, and it sounded as if something was broke, so that surprised me a little bit. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you. Now from Fukuoka site. I'm second junior high school first grader. My name is Kijima. How is your former job an airplane pilot helping you in ISS?
はい、どうもありがとうございます。そうなんです。私前はパイロットだったんですけれども。
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, I was a pilot before, and the pilot and astronauts are actually very similar in jobs. There are dangers, and also safety is very important. Those are common to both of the job. Therefore, the trainings are very long and strenuous, but I was very much accustomed to it since I was a pilot, so that was a good thing. And also in International Space Station, we work together with many people, not just other crews, but also commanders and controllers on the ground. Therefore, and in that sense, we work with a lot of people, like maintenance people and control people on the ground. And the teamwork was something that I learned when I was a pilot, so that is very useful. And also controlling robotic arms is actually very similar to controlling airplane, so I can utilize my skill as a pilot. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you very much. Next from Tokyo, Mr. Hirata. Oh, I'm Hirata. I'm Mutta, actually. And we suppose you're very busy out there in space. But for a change, what kind of things do you do?
はい、どうもありがとうございます。私はですね、好きな音楽を
Thank you very much for that question. Well, I like listening to music and looking down on the earth. That is a very nice time for myself. And when I was little, I watched the movie Star Wars, and that was a trigger to get interest in the space. So the other day when I watched the movie, I was really happy. And I believe that there are a lot of children who see the Space Brothers movie. So Mr. Koyama or Mr. Hirata-san, I hope that you continue to give dreams to little children. And also in space, I can sleep very well. So sleeping is also a very good refreshment for myself. Actually, I brought the sleeping bag that I use in space.
はい、これが宇宙で使う寝袋なんですけれども、宇宙で普通に寝てるとふわふわ。
So this is the sleeping bag that I use in space. If you're sleeping without sleeping like a bag like this, I tend to float. That is why I use sleeping bag. Usually, this is stuck to the wall, but today I try to get in. Well, it is not attached to any wall.
はい、こういう感じでふわふわ、中に入って浮いた状態で寝ています。
So this is how I get in, and I can float
リラックスした状態
as is, and I do not use any muscle at all. I can be very much relaxed. So even if I am very tired, I can be really relaxed after one night's sleep and get up really refreshed. Thank you very much for the question. Now from Sapporo side again. I'm Saki Ishigami. My question is follows. We hear that you get a little taller in space than on the ground. Was it painful when you grew? Also, did you find anything troublesome in space?
はい、そうですね。身長が伸びるというのは本当だと思います。
Well, yes, it is true that we get taller. And on the first day, I was in the Soyuz spacecraft, but the next day, my back around here I started to have pain here, and it lasted for about a week, and it was quite painful. For about a week, the pain woke me up, and probably as I grew, probably the spine is extended, and I thought that must be true. I was 178 when I was on ground. I had wanted to be 180. The other day I thought, now I have already grew. So Kate is my crewmate, and I asked her to measure my height, and it turned out it was 179. And the troublesome thing, actually the change in body is quite large. For example, the circulation in body, like blood, or they are extended, and I have moon phase, and also I have blood in the head. So sometimes it's difficult to think deeply. So I have actually quite a lot of change in body for especially the first week. So that was the trouble that I had at the beginning. Thank you for that question. Now from Fukuoka. I'm third grader of senior high school. My name is Satsuki Sadamatsu. In the future, I assume that there would be time that much more people would go to space than now. And what kind of influences would it have on us who would go to space, do you think? And what do we have to be aware of?
はい、私もいずれそういう時代が来ると思ってます。まずですね、
Thank you very much. I hope that the time will come that many people would go to space. And human beings are the kind of living thing that started to go to new places, like during the big ocean time, they went into the ocean. So I believe that the human being would go into launch into various new world, and that way our culture or civilization would go up further. But what we have to be careful of is that the space is not the environment that the human being can naturally live. So by the time that a lot of people go to space, we have to have the safe environment. And also, we astronauts go through very strong, strenuous training. And I hope that you would have developed very comfortable system by the time that many people go to space. Thank you for that question. Now from Tokyo site, fourth grader, elementary school, and Sara Furukawa. Can you actually see man-made artifacts on the Earth from space?
はい、そうですね。カメラの望遠レンズを使うと大抵のものはよく見えます。
If I use the long distance lens camera, you can see almost quite a lot of things like a big building. But without camera, there aren't so many people that you can see with your bare eye. For example, if it is a large bridge or airport, those are fairly easy to find. Also, Palm Island, that is a man-made island in Dubai, that is also visible from the space. Thank you very much for the question. Now from Sapporo. I am Yuki Tamura. Is there anything you noticed for the first time since you arrived in ISS? Thank you for that question. Well, the new findings, actually, there are a lot. Day to day, I'm learning a lot. The space environment is very much different from the Earth. For example, things float, and every single aspect in the space is very different from the way we live on the ground. Therefore, I'm learning every day. So there's something that I want to show you, that it is very difficult to get control of items here. So this is a very big bag, and there is something like cushions, a lot of cushions inside. And if I open this bag,
こう何も考えずに開けて中を取り出そうとすると、こうやってどんどん物が中から
and without thinking much, and if I try to take out something, they actually start to jump out from it. So those are the kind of things that are a very different environment in the space, and it is rather difficult. Well, I have to close this thing.
はい、ちょっと思ってた以上に散らばっちゃいましたけど、後でこれで私全部片付けるので大丈夫です。
Well,
どうもありがとうございます。
they dispersed more than I had thought, but I'm going to clean this up later, so it will be fine. Thank you for that question. Now from Fukuoka site. I'm university student. My name is Ayaka Kitajima. In the time of the space shuttle, the requirement for the minimum height of an astronaut was 149 centimeters, whereas after Soyuz height became playing a major role, it has changed to 158 centimeters. What is the reason for this change? And also, as it was described in Uchu Kyodai, a spacesuit for small people being developed in real life.
はい、ソユーズがですね、比較的身長の制限が厳しいのはですね、
Well,
理由はですね、
the Soyuz have very
というのは
tight regulation regarding the height. The reason is the seat. Because in case of space shuttle, the landing was rather slow, just like airplane. But in case of Soyuz, we use a parachute. And in the normal situation, the speed is about 1 meter per second. So it is rather hard landing. If the main parachute is broken, then we use a sub parachute. So it is rather hard landing. And in order to make it a little softer, we have a custom-made seat liner in order to soften the landing impact. So that is the reason why we have some regulation, because the seating itself has a certain size. So the people, the astronaut, have to be able to fit in there perfectly, because otherwise, if you have larger gap, then you tend to bump to the seat. So that is the reason I hear that the regulation is rather strict in case of Soyuz. And I do not know that of the situation that the spacesuits are being developed for small people. But maybe in the future, when more people go to space, maybe a spacesuit for children or different design may come available. Thank you very much for the question. Now, a question from Tokyo site. Fourth grader, Yuna Shinkai. If I can ever go to space, as I'm 10 years old now, it will be like 20 years from now. What kind of experiments do you think would be on demand 20 years from now in the future?
はい、どうもありがとうございます。私たち今宇宙でいろんな実験をしています。
Thank you very much for that question. We are conducting various experiments now, and those would be useful in the future, but that is going to be a very long time in the future for those to be useful for the people on the ground. But in 20 years, I hope that those would be useful for people's day-to-day life, but especially gathering data for the future drugs would be one. And also, I had been conducting a material-related experiments using the space environment and the research and study the characteristic of certain material. And getting that data would allow us to make a better material on the ground. And I hope that you will continue to do that kind of research. I hope that you will be able to go to space in 20 years from now. Well, we seem to have more time, so we would like to continue asking questions from Tokyo now. I am Ririka Suzuki. We saw you got a haircut through Google+, but do you find any difference in the speed of hair growth in space compared to here on the Earth? Thank you very much for the interesting question. Yes, the other day I had my hair cut, but probably the speed of hair growth is the same in space and on the ground. But in space, it is far easier with shorter hair because, for example, getting shampoo, you cannot use water. So we use just towel, and you cannot use water. So I really feel very comfortable in short hair. I believe that I will continue to have this kind of short hair cut. Thank you very much. I think we are getting very close to the end of this communication. Actually, almost 800 people are gathering in 3 sites, Tokyo, Sapporo, and Fukuoka, which will give us some message to other people who are gathering here. Sapporo, Tokyo, Fukuoka, thank you very much for coming to those sites. And I had so many interesting questions. I enjoyed myself too. I had wanted to show you the site from show you the sight of Earth seen from the International Space Station. I have taken those pictures beforehand. I hope that you will see this picture later on. My stay here is going to be 1 month and a half left, and I would like to continue to do various experiments. I hope that you will continue to support me, and after I go back to Earth, I hope that I will be able to see you all. Thank you very much for your questions. Mr. Onishi, thank you very much. Everyone on 3 sites, thank you very much together. Thank you very much, Mr. Onishi.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.